Hi, hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint artist. We're going to talk about our Seint Makeup cream-based 3D foundation, and we're going to talk about the heat. I want to talk about how I do my makeup when I know I'm going to be out where it's hot. Now, there's a method to the madness. There's a little extra work if you're going to be in the heat, doing a barbecue, you're at an outdoor wedding, whatever. There are things to take with you. There are things to do, and let's get started. So for me, I have oily skin, so beating the heat is something I really have to prepare for. So what I use is, instead of Seint setting spray, I use either Urban Decay, De-Slick, or Charlotte Tilbury. If you have dry skin, these are still good options for the heat. I feel that the Seint setting spray is really hydrating, and if you have dry skin, you've probably already moisturized. So I would say maybe get something for oily skin for the heat. It gives it a little bit more stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my face with the setting spray. Okay, I'm going to take a fluffy brush like the blush and bronzer, and I'm going to press this in to my skin, just like that. You could also do this with a beauty blender, no problemo. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my setting powder. I keep two because, again, I'm oily, I use a lot of powder, and I'm going to go in with my fluffy brush, and I am going to go all over, especially where I get really hot. So my cheeks, I always prep my cheeks with setting powder when I know I'm gonna be hot, and then of course the forehead, but really, let's be real, your whole darn face gets hot. And so I always do this. I'm gonna take my fingers, I'm gonna rub it into my powder, and I'm gonna press it into this part of my nose. Now this is where your nose pads are. People sweat under their sunglasses. Press a little in before. That's how I prep for the heat. Prep for the heat. Now we're gonna have more to it. So I have some hormonal breakouts, but I want to kind of start with saying my neck is always lighter than my face, and I want to start with that because I always talk about it after my makeup's on, but it genuinely is. And so I just want to point that out because I'm going to also tackle that. All right, let's get in. If you want to try this, just send me a makeup free picture, and that's it. But I have some hormonal breakouts. I'm going to take my blend brush, I'm going to go into Aspen, grab a little bit, and I'm just gonna mute the red down. Look at that. You see how you can still see it, but the redness is gone. Got one right up here. There we go. And I'm just muting it down. I am gonna take Mango with my finger. I'm putting a little, I mean, you can't, let's make it so you can kind of see it. And I am just gonna go over them as kind of a camo color, because if you're trying to cover a zit, okay, I've got one right there, you want to put a darker color than your main highlight. So I have Mango because it's darker. My main highlight is Athens, and then I'm using White Peach as my brightening. Versailles been a little textury lately, and so I've gone down to White Peach. All right, I'm going to just tap this with the fluffy end of the blend brush just to blend it down a little bit. And now we're going to get into the makeup. Now, when you're going to be out in the heat, I will say this, fuller coverage, it's not going to be your best friend. So I want you to try to go a little bit lighter on the coverage. Don't use the buff brush if you're going to be out in the heat. You're going to apply too much, and it's going to it's makeup, not magic, and this is cream. So just keep that in mind. We're really going to be loving our setting sprays, but I'm going to use the blush and bronzer brush, and I'm going to tap in my main highlight, which is Athens, and I am going to just even out the skin tone. Not necessarily full coverage, but I'm just going to even out the skin tone. And I'm going to let all my other colors really work together because I don't want a lot. So I'm going to keep this nice and low right here. I have acne scarring, so I do bring it up a little, but I don't apply a lot right there. Grabbing a little more, just evening out right here. You can see I have some just discoloration from life, and then I'm just going to bring it up and cover a little bit of that scarring. But my blush is going to also cover it a bit because I use Frenchie. Frenchie this has been a big debate lately. I don't like Frenchie always as a standalone color unless I'm doing something natural. Frenchie's a great standalone color if you have very fair skin. If you're Aura, your White Peach, or even Moonlit or Linen as a main highlight, Frenchie's a great blush because it looks more punchy. But if you're candlelit or darker, it can fall flat on people. That's what I hear people saying, but I also completely agree. It is a very light, natural look, and so, but it is a great tool. Under eyes, lipstick, but it's also great for helping if you have scarring like I do. All right, but less is more. If you apply too much, take this fluffy brush and just press this in, just like so. All right, I am going to go into my bronzer next. Yep, I'm gonna do my bronzer next. I'm gonna go in right here with the big end, and I am going to really warm up right here because you're gonna be getting sun, and I like to put this on first. But you wanna put it on light, and putting on your bronzer helps you use less contour. It just does, okay? But I'm gonna go in on my cheeks here, and because I have that scarring, I'm not gonna bring it down to my apples. I'm gonna hang it way, way, way back. All right, so bronzer, hanging it way, way, way back, and not bringing it over my scarring. I can always add more. Taking that fluffy brush and just blending it out. I'm gonna use this fluffy brush. I'm gonna go into my bronzer, and here is where I'm going to bridge that light white neck to my face. I'm gonna be outside a lot today. Now, where I live, our hot is different than everybody else's hot. It's hot today, and it's 68. It's actually going to be 68. It's 62, and I'm in shorts, and I've already been outside for a while, and we're like, whew. Oregon's heat is different than everybody else's heat. And we're like, oh man, what are we gonna do? All right, I am going to go in with my brightener. I'm gonna use the blend brush, and I'm gonna go in with my white peach, and I'm gonna go right here in the middle, and I'm just gonna do a circle, and I'm gonna pull it and fan it out. You can go with light coverage. This is super pigmented makeup, and so you can do this. For me, here's the deal. When you're in the heat, your face should have a light coverage, but your colors should be punchy. That's what makes it look like you have fuller coverage without using a lot of makeup, and that's what's gonna make you look fancy. It's not the amount that makes you look fancy, it's the colors you're using. And so I'm actually gonna switch out of the contour I'm currently using. I'm gonna go to Indigo. All right, going in right here, and I'm just gonna hit the Cupid's bow. It just highlights that part, and it's so, so pretty. And then right here on my chin, I always add some. I'm gonna do my nose last. All right, I am going to grab this brush, and I'm gonna go into my powder again, and I'm gonna set this part of my face. Now, I always go on the perimeter and then bring it in at this point. Once the makeup goes on, you don't wanna put your powder right smack in the middle of your forehead, around your nose directly, or on your cheeks or under eyes directly. You always start on the outside, and then you just work it in. But this just helps combat oiliness, but it's also gonna help your makeup set. And now we can go in and we can contour, we can blush, we can do our under eyes, and putting powder on top of it's not gonna texturize it. I hope that makes sense, but that's how this is how I beat the heat, okay? So I'm gonna switch out my contour, which is in here. Hello, indigo's my favorite. I love when I can use indigo. And I am going to put that in there. Like, where do I put it? All right, so we are gonna use detail brush, gives you more detail. And I'm gonna go into indigo. I'm just stamping into it. I'm not wiping, don't be scared to hit your contour, but my bristles aren't, I was really pounding on that. My bristles are not stuck together. I am going to go here and here. And I'm wanting it to be fairly light. Now remember, we put that bronzer on, so it plays into this a bit, so you don't need as much. Bridge it together up along your hairline, and then just circle it and blend it out. Okay? Using a little bit. Pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, pull it out. Hugo ran off after an animal, I think. Okay. So contour, that's it. It's just using a deeper color, makes you look like you have more on. Make sure it's the right color. So if you're very cool toned, Astoria would be the indigo to the cool tones. All right, so Astoria. I'm gonna use my fingers on my nose. Now I'm gonna tap this. I have a very bumpy nose. Not very, I have a bump. That's a better way of saying that. I'm not putting crazy amounts on. Now indigo can be, if I wipe it through, that's a lot. You just want this. What is my dog doing? Tap where I put that too much on my finger, on my tip. I like to square it off, just like that. Okay, we're gonna get a rag and wipe off my fingers. I'm gonna take my brush. I'm kind of worried about my dog. So I'm gonna push this up, tappy, tappy, tap, pushy, pushy, push. Just like that, but I just tap it out light. It doesn't need to be heavy, but I am gonna grab powder in a minute again. So we're gonna tap this across like I always do because I have that bump. I'm gonna square off the tip. I'm gonna pinch this, grab some white peach, and then I'm gonna go right down the middle bridge to the tip. And then I always go this way. You can do whatever you want, but I go right here. It just is nice. I like it. That's why I like it. I'm gonna take my fingers again. I'm gonna tap into my vanilla dust. You don't see a lot, and I'm gonna tap this where my nose pads go. All right, so if you're gonna be outside at a wedding, you're at a bridal shower, maybe you're at a vineyard, and you're outside in the heat and you're wearing sunglasses, put some powder on those pads. You really wanna focus on that because those pads, they're gonna move and you're hot. It's gonna move that makeup. It's makeup, not magic. Like for real, I don't know any other way to say it, but don't expect miracles, it's makeup. All right, going back into that detail brush, going in to indigo, I am going up above you can see where my face just naturally shadows. I'm going above the natural shadow and I'm gonna hang it back, hanging it way back. But using a punchier color, again, is gonna give you that glammy look. If you're gonna be, I feel like if you're really going for makeup and you're gonna be by the pool, you're not putting this much makeup on. It's very natural, if any at all. So if you're beating the heat, you're at something. I think you're golfing, bridal shower, winding it up, barbecuing with friends, wedding, what have you. I'm not meaning for this to be a glam, but we're doing light coverage and we want to see your makeup, so you punch up your color. That's all I'm saying. I really just hang it at the back. When you put one shadow in, it almost pulls extra shadow. So you don't need to just don't marionette your face. Let your face naturally do that because I don't know. If you want to do it, I don't care. It's your face. I mean, that's why I do what I do. I'm just showing you a new technique, a new way to play with your makeup, but just keep it light. I pull it up and then I just tap it. Tapping for me is key. That's it. Tapping into indigo, going in front of my earlobe here and down. This is the magic right here in front of that earlobe, not up here, not on your sideburns, earlobe down, okay? This is gonna give you some structure. If you have very mature skin in this area, absolutely do this, try it. Now, okay, here's the debate. Who shaves their face? If you don't, you may not want to do this. It can easily accentuate if you have peach fuzz. I'm a face shaver, and so this works really well. If I'm doing makeup for an event, if I'm doing somebody's wedding for their makeup, I usually bring a tinkle razor and I'll ask them, hey, do you mind if I just zip zap this area so that, for picture's sake, for picture's sake. All right, so I've done all my contouring. I've got my nose brightened, and now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do my blush. Now again, I like to jazz things up a little bit, but I always go into Frenchie as a tool for my discoloration. And I put it on the apple, just like this. Now, if you're gonna be in the heat, I will suggest you applying the rest of your blush with a brush to keep you from over applying. And I am using, what color is this one? Pink grapefruit. This is super pretty. So if you liked pink lemonade and then it's gone, this is another really good option. But I put some on, you can see that pink. I am going to lightly tap just a little bit, and if you really see it go on, stop. And then bring it over here and spread the love. Okay, you don't have to empty your whole brush and go, oh no, I put on too much. What will I do? Well, you've got another cheek. So move it. It's easy math. It's really easy math. So I just like a good punchy color. If you are gonna be doing stuff outside and you want light coverage, but you wanna see your makeup, just jazz up the color a little bit. If you're olive, you could, everything between olive and indigo is very cool toned, in my opinion. Because you've got ash, which is pretty much same level, just warm versus cool, but then you've also got henna, which is a very pretty color, but it is more cool toned. It's more neutral, and then Astoria is more cool toned. So I would go from olive to indigo, but remember, I mean, when I put indigo up here, it didn't look crazy. Like, you don't have to make it look crazy, but If you want to jazz up your makeup without a lot of makeup, it's just a punchy color and it can all be blended down. This brush is your friend. This guy right here, this will blend everything down just the way you want. Look at how pretty that is. So pretty. And so you just jazz it up with some extra colors. If you really like Hollywood, you'll love this. You'll love pink grapefruit for weddings. If you love Hollywood, Hollywood's a very neutral light pink. Pink grapefruit's another level up. It's good. And if you really want to get jazzy, Dahlia. Oh, I should have grabbed Dahlia. I should have. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna do setting spray, okay? Because we're gonna be in the heat. You gotta set your makeup. We are going to set it. We're gonna get more powder. We're gonna set it. I mean, get it on your face. Let it feel damp. Grab that fluffy brush. Go into your powder while your face is damp. You could even do this in reverse, but go around the perimeter and then bring that powder in while that face is damp. Now you could go in with the powder first, put it in and then spray it on and then press it again. But you've got to use the powder with the setting spray because it helps reduce texture. Okay, now once we've done that, we're gonna do under eyes. I just don't believe under eyes should have powder. So I'm going to use the blend brush. I'm going to go into White Peach and we are going to go under the trough right here. And then we're going to come up. If you are getting fancy, White Peach is really pretty and it's extra bright, but go light. I'm just putting it here and then under the trough. I'm staying away from the hammock. Eyeball, orbital bone, hammock. So it's very soft tissue. So I tap this up my orbital bone where it's a bit more taut, and then I just blend it up onto that hammock, but stamp it and stamp it light, bring it up to that inner corner, take this fluffy end. I love the blend brush for under eyes because it's such a light application brush, but look at how it just gives like this flawless fin. And if you put too much blush on, it gets really high up. This helps rain it down because that's what I do. So I tap on that White Peach, tap it under that trough and push it up, grab one stamp more and I go right here. And this just pull it up to give your eye lift and then hit that orbital bone back and forth and then go up into that hammock, get that inner corner, grab that fluffy end and then blend it down. If you apply too much, just blend it down until you're happy. Ta-da! And if you want to add more, ooh, let's grab Dahlia. Let's just take us, let me do my lips. Let me do my lips. Okay, we're gonna grab indigo. We're gonna go right here. Like that. Like that. Look at that. Ooh, I love indigo. I do. I like the way it just created a shadow on my Cupid's bow better than anything else. I'm grabbing White Peach and just going around my outer corners just to define it, create a pout, give me some, I like the pout. I don't like the whole, I don't know, I want a pout. Makes me feel pretty. Makes me feel pretty. I am gonna go into what color? Renaissance is gone. So if you loved Renaissance and you didn't get it, I mean, I harped on it. I'm just saying, guys, like if you missed out, like that's on you. That's on you. All right, we're gonna grab a little palette. This is MAC Half Red. There is a link in my description. If you missed Renaissance, this is the dupe. And you're gonna line, do not outer line. And I love this color. I love Renaissance. And then you're gonna come down. There we go. Right here, 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 here. Okay, we're gonna grab a color. Let's find a gloss. I didn't plan my colors ahead. So let's get into some glosses. Summer Love, okay? Summer Love is a beautiful, it's this one right here. I've hit 10. But Summer Love is so good on everybody, but I have this dark burgundy lip color, and then you put this on, and it's just pretty. It's like Sadie, but it picks up better. I really love this color. Okay. You know it's another really good lip liner. If you missed out on Renaissance and you like a dark lip liner, your Indigo Contour. That's the one. Okay. What was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna punch up my blush. So I have Pink Grapefruit on, and after I finished my under eyes and got all the stuff on, it just isn't. So I'm gonna get my lip and cheeks back out again. We're gonna grab Dahlia because Dahlia is just pretty. I'm gonna use a fluffy brush. I'm gonna grab Dahlia and I'm just gonna hit the back part, almost like an illuminator, but it's with pink. Hit the tip, grab a little more, and I'm just gonna hit it way back here. And because once you add this pink, it accentuates this, and I don't want it to pull my scarring through. There we go, that's it. It's just fun. Makeup's fun. It's fun to play with, you know? Okay, I'm not loving my lip with this at all. Looks too purple. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I'm not loving it. I'm gonna not use, I'm having a hard time with my lip color today. I'm just gonna take that Pink Grapefruit. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Look at that. Ooh, I like that a lot. There we go. Ooh, pink. That's what I needed. Today's a pink day. Who knew? All right, that's it. That's how you beat the heat. Oh, no, that's not it. Stop. You cannot leave your house without makeup. If you're gonna be in the heat, if you have oily skin, this goes for you too, but if you're gonna be in the heat, there are things you need. So when you order Seint makeup, you get this sachet. Your tins come in it. You've already got this, okay? I will suggest having blotting papers. You can buy them anywhere. Seint has them. It comes in a little box. You can get a pretty fancy case if you want. You don't have to. If you get it with the case, it comes with the bag too. And I would recommend blotting paper. So if you find that you look a little oily, a little greasy because you're hot, take some blotting papers and blot, reset if you see any movement. And then I want you to carry around a vanilla dust, pop open, vanilla dust, and then you can buy a pack of these on Amazon. And you're gonna tap in and you're just gonna reset the areas that are too shiny for you. But start on the outside and then work your way in. But that is what you want to carry with you. You get a bag. If you're ordering tins, you're getting a bag. If you order the fancy case, you get a bag. So just keep it all with you. You can worry about, you can put it all in a compact, but I just carry mine in a little cute sachet. And I just throw it in whatever clutch I'm carrying. And that's it. But that's how you beat the heat. But you do need something in your purse. And I would say blotting papers and setting powder. And this is perfect. It's small. I mean, it's tiny. It's palm of my hand. I'm fun size, but that's it. That's how you beat the heat. Okay, you need an oily skin setting spray, I think, if you're going to be in the heat. Seint just gets a little, but I'm also oily, so that's my opinion. That's what I do. So that's it. Have a great day.